Dude, him
Dude.
versus Ciryl Gane, that's very interesting.
For sure, for sure. And I know the power is going to translate over to heavyweight. That's not going anywhere.
100%,
He'll be able to
man.
flatline heavyweights.
100%, especially with zero weight cut.
Yeah.
Talk about that. That co-main event, Ciryl Gane taking on, or Ciryl Gane taking on Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira.
Yeah, but stop it right there, though, too, Kamaru. I even think that's wrong. I think there's so many contenders at light heavyweight for Pereira to go through. You know, I just feel like there are still a lot of names to be taken out before there is a big matchup at light heavyweight. But I also get it.
There was one name.
Well, there's a lot, man. There's Oldberg, who he's never fought. Of course, he could beat him.
Yeah, Oldberg.
There's Hamzat Chimaev. If he defends that title at
Hamzat's not there yet. So right now, there's only one guy.
But it was something in the making where they were both kind of tweeting to each other or whatnot. And then two, I think even fighting for an interim title, I think if anything, and then just check this out. If you are going to fight for that third belt, it's got to be the undisputed belt, man. It takes a little bit of what being a triple champ is, and he's also going up against a dude that was already popping up the undisputed champ. So, I can see where the odds are actually coming from. So I just feel like if Pereira was to stick around at light heavyweight a little bit more, fight undisputed right away. No more interim, none of that. He just waits and he's granted that.
I'm trying to understand. So you're saying that he should be granted that only if he sticks around light heavyweight a bit longer?
I would say a fight or two, yes.
But Henry Cejudo, you're asking Alex Pereira to hang around for what could be, for maybe Hamzat comes up or not. Maybe
and maybe not Hamza. What I'm trying to tell you is you take your chances. You take your chance.
Gane on Proton, bro. I think it'll be a fun fight. I think Gane shoots on Proton, though. A lot of people think it's just gonna be kickboxing, but I think Gane might try and switch it up for him, like how Francis Ngannou did to Gane. Tripped him out, confused him a little,
I'm not counting Alex Pereira out here because Alex Pereira does have the power to really change things. And listen, he is definitely, your confidence is at his all-time high. Listen, no one can tell you anything about your abilities and what you can or can't do. Because if that was the case, then we felt this way when Alex Pereira said he was wanting to go to light heavyweight. We felt this way. We don't know how he would do. Now he dominated that weight class. So I'm not going to feel that way about him going to heavyweight, especially when that heavyweight division right now is kind of struggling with the depth in the talent that they have. So I think this is a good thing for that heavyweight division to throw Alex Pereira in the mix there. Now you've got Tom Aspinall, now you've got Ciryl Gane, you've got Alex Pereira, not to mention you've got Waldo Acosta. So there's guys there. You still got Curtis Blades in there. There's guys there. So I get it. I like it. But listen, this card, I like it.
Fight, obviously, Alex Pereira going up to heavyweight is something that's been long discussed, and I guess the big thing is, like, is he going for history? Is he not? It's the interim belt. Like, if he wins this fight, are you going to consider him the first 3-division UFC champion, or does he have to get undisputed?
I would.
Yeah?
I would. I absolutely would.
Even though it's interim.
Even though it's interim. I mean, like, interim, like, yes, like, the difference is just putting a word in front of it. But it's like Ciryl Gane is still champion. Well, and that's another thing too, right? What we have to find out is Ciryl Gane championship level material. Like, skill wise, I do believe he is, but mentally and just emotionally and with his entire being, is he championship level material? And that's what we want to find out, because we've seen him lose against Francis, where he went in the fight, but just made the silly mistake at the end. And then we saw him completely lay an egg against John Jones. And that's not championship level material, but he's seemed to have matured into it. Now, when he was fighting Tom Aspinall, he showed championship level material fighting, even though it was a little dirty. And that's another thing. Can he fight cleanly with championship level material behind him? And that's what I want to see from him. But because he hasn't really shown that in the past, again, that kind of, for me, knocks it.
The fight world is in absolute shock right now, trying to process something that felt impossible not too long ago. We're talking about Alex Pereira and Ciryl Gane, two of the most dangerous strikers in combat sports, preparing to collide in a historic showdown at the White House. This is the kind of matchup nobody saw coming. Both fighters have dominated in completely different divisions, building their own legacies, and now their paths are finally crossing in what could be one of the most electrifying fights we've ever seen. What makes it even more intriguing is how divided the fight community is. Analysts and former fighters are split right down the middle. One side believes Pereira's terrifying knockout power will be too much for anyone to survive. The other side is backing Gane's elite movement, precision, and technical striking to control the fight and neutralize that danger.
They have to make do with what they have. They would have loved to have Jones on there, but I hope Alex wins. That's crazy. Like 3 times. Yeah. Gane's no joke, and Gane can dance around him. Gane's slick to knock him out as well. But I think Alex can knock him out too.
As the showdown between Alex Pereira and Ciryl Gane approaches for the interim heavyweight title, Charles Oliveira has raised an interesting point that could change how we view this fight entirely. He believes this bout might end up being far more important than people realize. According to Oliveira, if Pereira wins, there's a real possibility that the expected unification fight with Tom Aspinall might never happen, at least not anytime soon. And we've seen it before. Injuries, contract disputes, scheduling conflicts, all of these can delay or even cancel the biggest fights. If that happens, Pereira could be left holding an interim belt that, in reality, functions as the true heavyweight championship. The fight everyone wants to see could keep getting pushed back, leaving the division in a strange situation where the interim champion becomes the de facto king.
That interim belt gets promoted to undisputed at some point. Now the other side of the coin, if you can't, let's just say Alex wins, right? And I'm not trying to pan Ciryl, but for the sake of the hypothetical that we're laying out here, let's say that Alex wins and you can't end up making the fight with Tom. Whether Tom's hurt or Tom's going down a dangerous road that I've seen before. It's a very dangerous road where I want to fight anybody. I can't believe this. You're the promotion. Bring me that guy. I deserve him. Bring me that son of a bitch. Make him do it. You got a contract with him. Lock us in the cage and let us do this.
There was a time in MMA when fighters carried a simple mindset. They would fight anyone, anywhere, without hesitation. But according to Charles Oliveira, that mentality has started to change. He warns that this shift is exactly where things begin to fall apart for the massive fights fans are waiting for. Once outside influences step in, managers, promoters, advisors, the decision-making process becomes more complicated. Fighters start getting guided towards safer options, alternative matchups, or more strategic career moves, and suddenly the biggest fights are no longer so simple to make. What should be a straightforward test of who's better inside the cage turns into long negotiations, delays, and missed opportunities. While Oliveira still believes Pereira has that true warrior mindset, the bigger concern lies with the division itself. Because no matter who wins this fight, there's a real risk the heavyweight division could get stuck in limbo, especially if the long-awaited unification bout never actually happens.